Hello everyone and welcome. Make a cup of your favorite drink and get comfortable because this is a wonderful time for news stories from Yellowcat. Send your own stories in the comments below and maybe they'll be in our new video. What was your best "you're speaking to the manager right now" moment part 2? I was invited to a birthday party at a remote acquaintance's place. She introduced me to her husband and tried to start a conversation by, "You two work in the same field." So the husband started to talk about his work while I asked polite questions. Then he started to badmouth about a competitor of the place he worked at. He would claim there was something shady about the company, how they would scam customers and cannot be trusted. First I asked where he got his apparent insider knowledge from. When he couldn't name a source, I looked at him and said, "No problem, buddy. Just take the opportunity to ask anything you'd like to fact check, as you are currently talking to the owner of the company." The conversations around us literally stopped and a very awkward silence followed, which I ended by politely saying goodbye. I used to be a cell phone tech in a retail store. We weren't employed by the main company, we were contracted through another company, so our manager hierarchy was separate. I was the only tech on one night, which made me the acting tech manager. I am a woman. A guy came in and was immediately belligerent, wanting his phone fixed. Came up to the tech counter. The conversation went something like this. Me, "How can I help you?" Him, "My phone is broken, I need to talk to the technician." Me, "I'm the technician. What's wrong with your phone?" Him, "No, I need to talk to the tech out back." Me, "I'm the only technician on tonight." Him, "No, I mean the guy in the back who fixes the phones." Me, "I am the guy out back who fixes the phones." Him, "Why won't you let me talk to the real technician? You can't fix this." Me, open the window to the back to show him it's empty. "I'm the only technician here tonight. What's going on with your phone?" Him, "You're being very rude right now. I want to talk to your manager." Me, "My manager is not in right now. I'm the acting technical support manager. How can I help you?" Him, "I need to speak to someone above you right now." Me, "There's nobody above me available right now. You'll have to wait until tomorrow during daytime hours." Him, "I don't have time for that. I work for a living." Me, "So do I. As a technician." Him, "I'm not leaving until I talk to someone." Me, "I can get the store manager for you." Him, "Yes, go get him. He will take care of me. How effing stupid can you get? That's what I've wanted." Me, "Okay, I will go get the store manager." I did. She was also a woman. Him, "Who's this?" I wanted the store manager. Manager, "I am the store manager, sir." Him, "She won't let me talk to the technician," pointing at me. Manager, "She is the technician, sir." Him, "Well, she can't fix my phone." Manager, to me, "Could we not fix his phone?" Me, "He wouldn't tell me what's wrong with it. I don't know yet if we can fix it or not." Manager, to him, "What's wrong with the phone?" Him, defeated at this point, "It's not sending text. It's defective. I need a new one." Manager, to me, "Can we fix that?" Me, "Yes, it's a known issue with that model. It just needs a software update. Should only take about 10 to 20 minutes. Him, "Yeah, like software's gonna do that." Me, "Will you let me try it?" Him, "Okay, fine, try it. But when it doesn't work, I want a new phone." Me, updated the software, it worked. "Okay, it's been updated successfully and I backed up your contacts and photos so they're all still there. I tested the texting and it's working now. Is there anything else I can help you with?" Him, "Took you long enough and you're very rude." Me, "Okay." Here it goes. I worked as a resident director, aka the boss of the building for my university. Despite being in my 20s, I looked barely out of high school. Move-in day for all the freshmen. The usual stuff happens. Crying parents and students, people trying to move in items that are not allowed, general crazy day. Nothing unusual yet. Cue to a mom with the typical "Can I speak to your manager" body language and haircut. She walks up to my staff member and demands another room for her child. The mom yells, insults my staff. Finally, she is screaming for a manager. I walk up and introduce myself and ask for her to tell me what's going on. The mom cannot believe her eyes. Me, this young man, was the manager. She insisted on getting the real manager. I pull out my wallet and give her my card with my name and title clearly printed and informed her that I was the real manager. She continued to huff and puff until she ran out of steam. Hours later, I get a knock on my door and it is the mom. She apologized for her behavior and explained it was stressful moving their child away from home. Emotions got the best of her and thanked me for treating her with respect despite her not showing me the same. I had someone picking a fight with me in a meeting and I asked him, "Are you really sure you want to do this?" He said yes because he thought I needed to be put in my place. It was a technical matter in which I am considered an expert, so I calmly listened to him and systematically shredded his arguments. He was older than I am and I thought his head would explode when he realized that I had him completely cornered at every point he tried to make. I couldn't tell him at the time because it hadn't been officially released, but a new organization chart was supposed to be released the next day. The next morning, I called a meeting and showed the chart, and the fellow immediately slumped into his chair when he realized he would be reporting to me. Postscript: he had a chip on his shoulder for several months, and initially he seemed to think that I had it in for him. But I'm not a vindictive person, and I earned his respect when I later on bailed him out of a sticky situation. I told him, "You report to me, but I work for you. It's my job to look out for your interests, and I'm more than happy to watch your back." I was on call to a domestic at a trailer park. Every member of this family is a frequent flyer. It was enough of a situation that we had a handful of officers from my department as well as a pair of deputies on scene with a rescue squad standing by in case of injuries. The mother of the family is shouting from the front steps, "Call the sheriff, we need deputies out here. This is an illegal arrest. You boys, officers, are breaking the law." The female deputy next to me looks over at her and says, "Ma'am, we are the deputies," as her partner is putting the cuffs on the suspect. I used to work at an arena where my mother was the head chef and I managed the concession. All of the employees knew me as Mother's Name's Kid and addressed me with the same level of respect despite me not asking for it, simply because they loved her like a mother. We ended up with a new employee taking some of her shifts, and he walked in one day and immediately tried to tell me around. I turned around and said, "No, I think you'll do well manning the fryers tonight, thanks," and continued what I was doing. He started to yell about how I couldn't tell him what to do and he'd get me fired before I said, "I don't think I can fire myself," and he got what I meant. The slow realization that I was second in command was priceless, and he avoided me like the plague after that. I was never mean to anyone without reason, but I knew from his training shift that he was a colossal D and ended up being fired for looking at underage girls on his Instagram during work hours. I run a support service for people without a lawyer. My clients, for the most part, are incredibly grateful and brave people. They are faced with navigating incredibly different legal processes alone. I respect each of them for the difficulties that they have to endure. Our service is limited in that we cannot provide legal advice. That will be important later. But some people just want the world to bend over backwards for their every whim. I had one client who was demanding that the court provide her with transport on the day of her hearing, over 100 miles. Whilst I knew this was not at all possible, I went out of my way to go and speak to the relevant people to try and make it happen. I informed her that, sorry, no, the court can't provide that for you, and I can't make it happen as I don't work for the court. Furthermore, I wasn't able to answer her questions as she was asking me to provide her with legal advice. She became increasingly aggressive and was accusing me of obstructing justice for her and discrimination, A, due to her not being British, and B, due to her disability. I remained calm as always and tried to just make it clear that she was asking me to do things that I literally could not do. It came to a head when I became quite firm and told her that I couldn't do anything for her and that I was going to have to put the phone down and get on with my other tasks. She goes silent and then, in a curt voice, says those magic words, "Can I speak to the manager, please?" The smile on my face spread. I am the manager. Euphoric. P.S. Honestly, I wanted to help her. Even though she was being awful to me, many of my difficult clients are incredibly stressed out, and the cuts to legal aid in the UK mean that so many vulnerable people are left to fend for themselves in the legal jungle. But there really comes a point where you can't let yourself be the sponge for other people's negativity, and you just have to put your foot down and take no S. I own the building that the company I'm part owner in operates out of. It's in a nice office park with about a dozen other similarly sized standalone office buildings. We have a dumpster that gets emptied twice a week that sits behind/on the side of our building that has a nice fence around it. The way it sits, the parking lot of another building is close to it. I'm ripping out carpet at my house and each night run by work and dispose some of it. We're not running production that week, so there's nothing in the dumpster. On the third and last night before trash comes the next day, I notice a guy smoking by his car at the other office. As I'm getting ready to leave, a car comes screeching up the side drive, puts his brights on, and yells at me to stay where I am. I pause and it's the same guy and starts yelling at me that he's calling the cops. He saw me dumping trash into the dumpster. I asked him what he cares and he said he's on special patrol for this company, the one I'm owner of and would be in charge of hiring anyone as it is, and I'm in violation and need to remain there. I asked him who he talked to and he said, I don't know his last name, but his name is Fred. We have never had a Fred work there. So he's blocking my exit and I start hearing a siren. This guy says something like, here they come now, you're screwed. So I just sit there another minute. In rolls a county brownie with his lights on as he comes strolling up and says, hey, one-eyed monster, what's up? I said, hey Andy, I'm not sure, but this guy here is trespassing on my property. His face at this point gets sheet white. No, I didn't press charges even if you could, but I didn't see him around again. I don't know if he was confused, mentally challenged. He sure seemed to have a short fuse. Officer Andy did take his info though, I think more to scare the guy than anything else. If you want to watch the part 1, click the link here. Thank you for subscribing, the likes, and the comments. See you in the next video.